The Dearborn Independent, November 13, 1920, number 3. Mr. Ford's page. Experience is partly made up of mistakes. Knowing what not to do is an integral part of knowledge. If the machine does not work very well, it may not need to be scrapped, but adjusted. The fact that a machine, method, or a system works at all without destroying itself and others may prove that it can be made to work more perfectly. Some people favor scrapping the social system, but if it works, even though jerkily, it may only need adjustment. There is no ingenuity in simply destroying things. If work is fundamental, if industry is really a beneficial and productive fact, then the jerks and imperfections which accompany it, like unemployment or uncertainty of employment, would seem to be susceptible of adjustment. Cure the defects without destroying a fundamentally good and tried method. It becomes more and more apparent that the mind of the nation is in a hopeful, forward-looking mood, quite free of the uncertainty and apprehension which a little while ago was present. The long, solemn striking of the hour is usually a period of rest, when strange presentiments and questions come to mind. But when the long drone of the strokes has died away, initiative flows in again, and the mind awakes to the calls and opportunities of the new hour. The clock strokes of destiny are sometimes months and years long, and the reverberations longer still. In the affairs of humanity, the great things do not occur in a flash and die out like a rocket. They come into being gradually, mount to their crisis, and disappear with discouraging slowness. Very few lifetimes are long enough to see the completed cycle of even the lesser events. But though this be so, there is a consciousness within the mind whenever the new era is actually begun. It is like dawn, when even the air is different, and a new magnetism seems to thrill through all things. And there is a sense of this newness in the air today. Men are more convinced than ever they were of the eternity of the right and of the possibility of sincerity maintaining itself through countless errors until the right way is won. No one who is socially conscious would think of denying that the right way in many things is yet to be found, but it is usually a mistaken social consciousness that insists that the wrong things are here by intention. Men do not make mistakes by intention, and there is no way of learning the right way except by making mistakes. Mistakes, whether they occur in the social region or in the building of a new machine, occur as the result of active research. The mind knows the end which it wishes to reach. It sees an opening here and enters it. It explores far enough to discover that the opening does not lead where the mind wishes to go. Another opening is explored in like manner and withdrawn from. And so on, experience being gained at each step. This is not waste, by any means. It is not evil. It is not blameworthy. It is part of the material of knowledge. You know your way from your home to the shop, but a real part of that knowledge is the other knowledge that certain other ways do not lead to the shop. That negative knowledge is in the back of your mind, unused, but it is a part of knowledge just the same. In the matter of living together in society, the same rule obtains. What does not work, we know is wrong. What does not work perfectly requires improvement. What breaks down periodically requires strengthening. But if the whole thing is wrong, it will not work at all, except perhaps destructively and wastefully. In mechanics, there are many things that will work, but not well. Take, for example, the numerous accounts we read in the papers of the discovery of a new fluid fuel. A man announces that he has discovered a new motor fuel which has given such and such a performance at such and such a cost. Maybe he has. After months of research, he doubtless has. But there are other points to be considered. Is there enough of his basic material to produce millions of barrels of that fuel a month? If not, he has discovered something, but he has not discovered the thing. And then, there is the effect of that fuel on the motor that uses it. Some new fuels are discovered, no doubt. They make things go, no doubt. But some of them completely destroy the motor that uses it. Drive 75 miles, and the machine is ruined. It is obvious then that although a discovery has been made, it is not the discovery. But the work is not lost. The individual's personal ambition may be frustrated, but his usefulness remains just the same. He has demonstrated something. But the wise world is not in a hurry to be off with the old and on with the new until it is demonstrated that the new can bear the burden which the world will have to place upon it. We may grant that many of our ways of doing things are crude. We can look forward to a time when those who come after us will improve vastly on what we have done. Still, we may be confident of this, that within our range of knowledge and necessity, we have made things work. We have found certain principles, and while there may be newer and better applications of these principles, we have laid the foundations. Certain foundations have been laid in the region where we adjust our relations to each other as social beings. We all have the same needs, and we are all subject to the same necessity of supplying them. And that necessity is relentlessly the same. Needs can be supplied only by work, someone's work. Not only relentless, but inevitable in this necessity, for it is marvelous to consider how very, very few in the world can live without work. There are a few aged, a few ill folk, a few pitiable offspring of the wealthy. That is all. Of the rest of the world, of any condition, those who work are a mighty ocean. Those who do not are but a handful. There are parts of the world where this principle of work is not understood, but it is painfully forcing its way into understanding. There are perhaps more parts of the world where the differences in work are not completely understood. Some work in one sphere, some in another. The spheres fit one another. In the ordinary household, the husband is the breadwinner, the wife the manager of all the home affairs. Both work in their own way, and the product of their joint toil is the home. In the industrial world, these spheres are duplicated, the managerial and the manual, both of them being more commingled than ever before, and the joint product is service to the world and a living for the men who render the service. What needs to be done is obvious: the winning of security for those who work, whatever their work may be. All human affairs are mutable. The factor of individual discipline steps in at unexpected moments. There are troubles and difficulties of one kind or another assailing all people of all kinds. Sorrows and joys, disappointments and anxieties, losses and tragedies are not the monopoly of any one group. Every life is very much like another these days. But it should be made possible. Indeed, it is perhaps not too much to say that it can be made possible for every man to be assured at least that there will always be the opportunity for work afforded to him. The basic insecurity of the industrial realm may at least be abolished, even though the other insecurities of life remain what they are. Perhaps one way out will be the adoption of the old adage not to put all of our eggs in one basket. The farmers of the South have learned the risk of the one-crop system. If the whole farm year is staked on one crop and that crop fails, there is total loss. But with a variety of crops, the danger is decreased. Now, employment today has tended to fall into one basket. There is a variety of work to be done in the world, but most men confine themselves to but one kind, and when for any reason slackness occurs there, they suffer idleness. This is due, of course, to the way in which industry is organized. There are three main divisions of work: growing the food and clothing which people use, manufacturing the tools with which these necessities are raised and turned into articles of use, transporting both to those who need them, growing, making, and carrying. These are the three principal things we do. And as there is always something to do in all of these lines, at least in two of them, unemployment would not occur if industry were organized with a view to the whole need. This would seem to be one direction in which progress can be made for the purpose of giving security of employment. And with this assured, other improvements could be undertaken without that stress of mind and need which makes so many advances.